I'm tired. When is this gonna stop? I just want to cry. When there's a storm coming here, it looks so crazy. Like, look at this. It's completely clear there, and you can literally see the rain coming. It's cool. It looks like Armageddon. Podgarageddon! Baby darling's outside. So I'm starting to rotate cuddles with the kittens so that they get used to humans. For when they go to their new homes. Hello, little sweetheart. This is Tiny. And this is one of the big ones. Hello, darling. Dobar dan. Happy Sunday. So Karlo's not happy. I'm happy. We have come out to lunch in Makriska today. Even though Daddy's away, Karlo's being my little lunch date, aren't you? This is called the Brooke Hotel, and they do a daily lunch menu, which is anywhere from 12 to 8 euros for a main. Plus you also get bread and side salads, which the side salads don't look like much, but they are so tasty. Whatever they put on them is so yummy, isn't it? So I ordered a tuna steak with blitva, which blitva is like, oh, it's like the best thing you'll ever eat. It's spinach, garlic and potato mashed. So good. And Karlo got the veal, beans and gravy. And it's going to be so yummy. He's doing his dinosaur activity. Love this spot. So it's a hotel, so you can stay here and just watch the world go by on a Sunday. This is Karlo's. This is mine. So it's a tuna steak with, this is the blitva underneath, which is so good. Amazing. We're just gonna go for a little walkies. This is the main square in Makriska. Karlo brought a tub of his cars with him, and right over this drain here, he tripped and all the cars fell down the drain. We were very lucky. There were some kids sitting here that pulled these up and got the cars out, because as soon as the cars went down the drain, this guy, it was a scene. If you have kids, you understand. Morning! Happy Monday. Guess who got up at 4:30 and got themselves fully dressed in their kindy outfit at 4:30? Wasn't me! All right, so we're trying something new today. We are going to try, got him up, well, he got himself up, got an activity, got a puzzle, got breakfast, and I'm going to attempt to do my exercises. I already got my leg weights on. Let's see how this goes. Finished! Definitely wouldn't recommend it. This is how good I am. Wouldn't recommend doing a workout with an almost 4-year-old, but I remember Luke Page. I was on his podcast and I was telling him my morning routine, and it basically talked about how, like, Karlo sleeps until 7, so I get up at 5 and all the things I do. And I think his kid was maybe turning 2 or 1. There's an age where they just wake up at 5 every day, no matter what you do. And I remember saying to him, don't worry, like, because he was like, oh, my kid wakes up at 5 o'clock. No, somebody else, Bobby. My kid wakes up at 5 o'clock, like, I'll never be able to get a work in the morning. And I was like, just wait. Like, there comes a time when their nap times align and they start sleeping in again, and you've got till 7 o'clock and they don't wake up. I guess it must reverse back at 4, or I'm definitely in the part of 4 where it reverses back. So I've just had to accept. All right, he wants to wake up at 4:30. We get up together. I'll get him his breakfast. I'll get him an activity. And then I say, oh, watch your foot. Mummy's doing her exercises now. And then I've got my little sidekick supporter. At least you didn't crawl all over me. You used to crawl all over me. You did well. We did it together. All right. I'm tired. When is this gonna stop? I just want to cry.
No, I'm not going to cry, but I am really tired. It is hard to commit to staying disciplined and motivated, but something I was thinking of this morning, which I think instilled a really good get on with it work ethic in me when I was younger. I worked at a bar in Perth, and I think it's called the Cottesloe Beach Hotel now, but when I worked there, it was called the Cot. And the reason I got a job there when I just turned 18. So I modeled when I was younger, and I did the modeling campaign for a sunglasses brand called Otis Sunglasses. I don't know if they're still around, but if they are, hi. I don't know how they got involved, but basically all around the Cot were the Otis Sunglasses posters, and it was me, pictures of me. I had no I just turned 18. I barely drunk. I had no bar experience, literally did not know the difference between a Merlot and a Cab Sav and a champagne. I didn't know that there was a difference between like champagne and Sauv Blanc or anything. Didn't know what different beers were. I didn't know anything. My first job was at Baker's Delight. Our next door neighbour owned a Baker's Delight, and I came home from school one day and there was a Baker's Delight outfit on my bed, and I must have been about 13, and my mum said, "You've got a job. It's time to start paying those bills." And I feel like Baker's Delight is one of the hardest jobs I've ever had. And if you've ever worked in a bakery, you will understand my pain. And I was also terrified that I was going to get stuck in the oven when I was cleaning it. So that was a legitimate fear. Maybe that's why I hate cooking. That makes sense. Anyway, so that was my first job. Second job, my sister and her husband bought a fish and chip shop, and me and my mum both helped out there as well, very much in the food industry. And again, I was still 13, 14 during this time. And then I got my first retail job in a shoe store in Fremantle in Perth. It was called Soul Outlet. And because I don't know if it still works like this in Australia, but you used to get paid, your hourly wage was based on how old you were. And one of the other girls that worked, so basically every time you had a birthday, your pay went up. That was really exciting. I remember at Baker's Delight, I got paid $5 an hour by check. Oh. Can you even imagine now? And then one of the girls that worked at the shoe store, she had just started working at this bar, and she came in and she was my age, and she said to everyone, "Oh my gosh, even though I'm only 18, I get paid the same as everyone else that works in the bar. We all get paid the same." And I think it was about $20 an hour. Now, at the shoe store, I was only earning about $13 an hour, maybe $14 an hour. So to hear that I could get a job somewhere and earn $20 an hour, I thought that was phenomenal. I was still modeling. So I started modeling when I was about 8. The reason I started modeling, and this is going to surprise you, I was a really nervous and anxious child. I was always stressed out, like about what? I've got no idea. But I was always stressed out about stuff. I'd get really, really scared if like my mum was not there the second I walked out of the classroom. At the end of the day, I would think I'd been abandoned. I don't know what that was all about. I had wonderful parents. They never abandoned me. I don't know why I thought like that, but I did. When I turned about 8, I started grooming and deportment classes with the modeling school to help with my confidence and my poise. And obviously it worked, because look at me now. I've got no problem talking or being in front of people or speaking up or anything. I was also the kid that I cried all the time at school because I didn't understand. I would cry at least once a day because I didn't understand something that we hadn't ever learned in our lives yet. I would freak out that I didn't know the answers straight away. Started modeling, and it really did help with my confidence. Yeah. Thanks, Mum. That was a really good choice. And when I was modeling, I remember how old I was, but then I entered a modeling competition at a shopping centre. I didn't win. I came second, but it was with a big modeling agency in Perth. I went on their books and started doing both catwalk. I don't remember what you call it now. Catwalk and catalogue. Is that what you call it? Like magazines and ads and posters and stuff like that. So I started doing that from when I was 8, and when I was modeling, I got charged out at, I'm pretty sure it was $180 an hour, which when you're 10 years old and like 25 years ago, that is amazing. Oh, actually not 25, a bit more than 25. It was my first realization that different people could earn different money for different jobs. It was the first time my mind was sort of blown in terms of not everyone that works the same gets paid the same. And I want to be someone who gets paid way more because I know there's opportunities to essentially work smarter, not harder. I don't know what they all are, but I want to be with these people. I was earning a lot of money from modeling, but it was all just going into a savings account for me. Smart. My friend came into the shoe store, said she'd got a job at this bar, and here I was thinking, well, I don't have any work experience in waitressing or bar work, but I know for a fact that my poster or posters of my face are hung all over this bar. And if you've been to the Cot in Perth, it's big. It's 2 stories. It's got a beer garden. It's huge. My face was everywhere. So I called the hotel, the Cottesloe Hotel. It was called the Cot, but it also has a hotel as part of it. I called reception. I asked if I could speak to the manager. And I said, hello, my name's Brooke Abroad. Can I please have a job? And he said, well, do you have any experience? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I don't. But the posters of that girl in the sunglasses that's hung up all around your bar? And he said, yes. And I said, well, that's me. Can I please have a job? And he said, look, why don't you come in for a trial? I went in. It was a 3-hour trial. I don't know what I was doing. I couldn't do anything. I remember people would ask for a drink and I'd pick something, guess something, put it on the bar, hope that was what they asked for. And hey, it worked. I got the job. I started working at the Cot, which was super fun. I would never do it now because it was absolutely exhausting. But that was so much fun. One of the most fun times that I probably ever had working, other than obviously when I started my business. I worked there for 3 years behind the bar, and then I did 1 summer on the door, and then I would come and go just doing the door for them sometimes before I eventually moved on from bar work. But what was the point of telling this story? I still have mum brain almost 4 years later. I remember it was the life lessons I learned working at the Cot. So because at the Cot, their most popular day was Sunday sessions, which it probably still is. People would literally line up for like 4, 5, 6 hours to get into the Cot on a Sunday. It was big, really, really big. It was the place to be on a Sunday. It was the main day that however many staff that they had on the roster, everyone worked on a Sunday, no matter what, no excuses. You got your assigned time on a Sunday, and we were doing like 12-hour shifts. 10 till 10 was pretty normal. And then we would go out afterwards, and then we go out after that, and then we roll into uni the next day. It was a great life. You could not call in sick on a Sunday. That was just not a thing. And I remember one Sunday I was standing out the back checking the rosters for the following week, and the manager was on the phone to someone who had obviously called in sick. And he went across the roster with a black marker and crossed their name off every single shift. And on the phone was like, yep, cool, you're not coming in today. Oh, okay, you're sick. Yep, no problem. Never come in again. And hung up. And I looked at him like terrified because I was also only 18. And he was like, that's what happens when you call in sick. There goes your job. You don't come in today, you don't come in ever again. That instilled the fear of God into me because I worked 1 shift at this job and I earned the same as working 3 shifts at the other job. I guess it taught me that, okay, you work no matter what. If you're sick, if you haven't slept, whatever is going on in your life, you show up and you get it done. And yeah, I really feel like that life lesson taught me to always just show up. Even if your kid gets up at 4:30 in the morning and gets ready for kindy, you get up and you show up. I'm going to read you a post that I found on Instagram on the weekend from an account that I follow called New Mentalities. And I feel like it just explains how discipline equals freedom so well. So, discipline equals freedom. Most people chase freedom by doing whatever they want. Late starts, no structure, a little bit of everything. Whatever feels good in the moment. But that is not freedom. That's chaos dressed up as choice. So good. What looks like freedom is often just impulse in disguise. And over time, that kind of life turns into a trap. no direction, no results. Real freedom is the kind where you move through the world with power, presence, and self-respect. That only comes from discipline, right? How good is it? Discipline means you are in charge of your actions. You wake up early because you decided to. That's me. You train even when you don't feel like it. Me today. You work when no one's watching. Me, other than the 1% you have seen on Instagram over the past 10 years, not even 1%. You hold the line when your brain tries to bargain with you. Yes, that is freedom. You don't wait to feel right. You just do what's right. Without discipline, you become a prisoner of your own inconsistency. And it doesn't take long before everything around you reflects that. Your body, your habits, your bank account, and most importantly, your mindset. Discipline isn't restrictive. That is a really good point because that's a mindset a lot of people have. It is protective. It guards your goals from the version of you that's still okay with mediocrity. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's not about punishing yourself. It's not about being robotic or controlling every second of your life. It's about giving your future a fighting chance. It's about building systems that don't require motivation to function. Time blocking. We did it in last week's episode. If you missed the last episode, watch the time blocking masterclass in the last episode. It's about deciding once and for all that your potential is worth the effort. Remember, this is all for you. And effort isn't supposed to feel amazing every day. Some mornings you'll wake up exhausted. Me, this morning. Some days you'll want to coast. Some nights you'll feel like skipping the hard thing and checking out instead. That is the test. That's the moment you either default to emotion or lean into discipline. Every time you do the thing you said you do, even when it's inconvenient, you take the reins back. How good is that? How well does that explain the concept of discipline and why it's so important and fundamental if you want to be your best self and live your best life, not just for yourself, but for all the people around you? I love that. I am so inspired every day to wake up, move my body, live life to the max, even though that sounds a bit cheesy, but I'm healthy and I can. 5 years ago now, this June, my sister, she got very sick and she was fit. She was healthy. She was an incredibly successful business owner. And she was in a wonderful marriage. She had 10,000 cats. She lived her dream life and she got sick. And unfortunately, she lost her battle. And there's so much more that she wanted to do with her life that we would talk about when I was in the hospital with her. And not just her, but everybody else in that hospital ward. They would give 10 minutes of your worst day, your worst task, the thing that you've been putting off forever. They would give that and be able to do things and to be healthy and have your life. They would give that. And that's something that I try and think about every day. It probably played a big part in the reason why we left Perth as well, subconsciously, because we are healthy and we can. There's so much we can do. Anything you want to do if you're healthy is just a to-do list. It's just a thing on a checklist that you can do if you have your health, and you owe it to yourself to show up and get things done even when you don't feel like it. That is how I should end this episode, but actually it's not even 9 a.m. on a Monday morning yet, but that is the energy that we are taking into this week. So go forth, do the hard thing you've been putting off for ages, time block your days, and let's see your life transform into the best version of you. Working on the academy today, and I want to show you how I put together a new program. So I live on a Google Doc, which is basically just a Word document that exists on a website link, and it makes it easy for me to be able to then share it with my team, and they can edit it if I give them permission to, share it around, and everyone can update it and do whatever they need to do with it. Then on the left-hand side, we have document tabs, and this is what makes it, in my opinion, really easy to be able to build out something because of these tabs. So you just press that button and you give the tab a name, and then all your information just lives in the tabs. So I'm building out the new academy at the moment, starting with the information for the beta, which is the test run, when I was brainstorming names for the academy as well. Now, frustrations is where I have a group of people on an email, group of business owners on an email list that I email once a week. And whatever responses I get to those emails, I put it into frustrations. Now, this ensures that when I launch, all of their frustrations are solved via the content without me guessing who it's for, then an actual ideal client avatar for the program, instructions of how to use the program. Then this is where I'm building out the modules. So this is kind of the hardest part because this is the program. I've got my draft, my final here, where all the unsexy titles of everything are included. And then I can just work through each module, make sure it's in the software, and make sure that all the supplementary material for it is done. Pricing, story of the course, sales page, lead magnet, email funnel, freebie opt-in page, the email funnel for my subscribers, the next program that I'm building after that. And once this takes off, the roles that I will need to hire for to ensure that my community have the support that they need. So that's how I do it. That's how I build out a program. I think it's the easiest way, in my opinion, to be able to build out something online. In my opinion, working off a Google Drive is the easiest, most non-tech person, which is myself, friendly way of building out an offer, whether it's you by yourself, whether you have a team and they need to be on top of it or they're contributing to it as well. Google Drive just makes it easy for everyone. If you're looking at your offer suite and thinking, what could I put online, or how could I simplify it? Or if you're creating an offer completely from scratch. Offer basically means a product or service, something that you're selling, what you're offering the world. This is how I recommend you build it out. Have one tab that's essentially just a brain dump. So any questions that come up about it, where you're at, what you need to do, brain dump it on the first page, and then start with your frustrations or your pain points. What's the problem that somebody in the world has that your product or service is the solution for? And then from that, create an ideal client. So the perfect person that this is going to work for, build them out. And you can use AI to do that once you've got your frustrations. And then start putting your offer together, whether it's a masterclass, whether it's a 5-day course, an online course, a coaching program. Maybe it's just one-on-one, but a really specific one-on-one package of who you help and how you help them. Or maybe it's a product and you've got product development and samples and whatever else is involved in, stockists, or maybe you're purchasing different stock from different places to find the best supplier. Whatever it is, if you can keep it all in one place on a Google Doc, you can also access it from everywhere as well, because you can open it on your phone, you can have it on your laptop or your desktop. It just makes it really easy to almost create a project online, the behind the scenes, the admins of, that you can keep adding to and building to as you build out the offer. Lunch today is tuna, cottage cheese, avocado, fermented cabbage, aka kupus. Morning! From the garage. Just mixing up the scenery, How many eggs we got yesterday.
I have to pick the eggs at the moment because I forgot to mention my husband has gone on another sailing trip. So he came back last Thursday and then he left again on Saturday, which I feel like was a scam. I think I got scammed here. I'm like picking chicken poo off chicken eggs and he's just out living his best sailing life on the Adriatic Sea. Something about that is not right. Anyway, just dropped Karlo at kindy. Had a better morning this morning. I actually still woke up at 4. Baby darling, our kitten, cat, woke me up to go outside. And then Karlo woke me up at 5:15. But I'm okay, I feel good. I feel 1,000 times better than yesterday. Yesterday was just a disaster. I ended up picking up Karlo from kindy and he was a mess. Like, probably he woke up at about 4 because then he got himself dressed and then woke me up at 4:30. When I picked him up from kindy, he was in a state. So he had a little nap and then he was just all confused all afternoon. Anyway, you probably don't care about Karlo's nap times, but it really plays a big part on my life and how I feel every day. So that's why I can't stop talking about it. Hopefully the mums will relate. So today I have one of my coaching clients. I wanted to share with you, if you are considering offering one-on-one coaching, how you put pricing and packages together, because that can be something that's really difficult. And yes, maybe it's an hour, maybe an hour and a half session, but there is prep time before the session. There's time after. Well, for me, because of what I provide to my clients after the session in terms of their steps and strategy, there's time after the session. So for each 1 hour that I do face-to-face with a client, I allow 3 hours of my time, because I also include in my coaching, pocket coaching in between. So it's not just only when we're on the 60-minute call together. They can then contact me in between sessions if they've got questions or they're stuck or they can't remember something or whatever it is. So I allow 3 hours for each session. So I don't really do one-off sessions. Sometimes if there's one really specific thing someone wants to learn and it is something I can teach in a one-off session, I'll allow it. But if you think of it kind of like a personal trainer at the gym, if you had a fitness goal, whatever your goal is to working with a personal trainer, you're not going to get it in one session. And business coaching is the same. It took me 10 years to learn what I know about business. How can I tell you that in one session? I don't really do one-off one-on-ones anymore. Again, every now and again, I've brought them back for different things. Like I just did a tour with L'Oreal. So last year, L'Oreal hired me, specifically their hair division, to come in and teach a full day training to any salons that stock L'Oreal or their brands. They own about 40 brands. I didn't even know, but I found it so interesting working with them and learning about that company, and that company is incredible. I did a 2-country, 7-city tour with them last year and it went really well. It was really fun, all about how to use Instagram to increase bookings in your hair salon. And then it went so well, they invited me back. So I also did the same thing this year, but I did a different masterclass. This year was really showing them how you can use AI to manage your Instagram account, because there are so many cool tools and apps and platforms that actually just didn't exist last year that they wanted me to update them on. So I did that, and that was really, really cool. And as part of that, because I taught them a 1-day program, I offered a one-off 90-minute consulting session on the back of that for anyone who came to the program. If there was something on the day as part of the program that they wanted my specific customized advice on. So that's really sort of the one-off session, okay? So that's something that you could consider as well. If you're teaching a program or you're consulting on something that's already written out, if not, it's better to package them up. So my main consulting offer, or my signature consulting offer, if you want to call it that, is my 6-month business coaching and mentoring package. My clients have 6 months to use it. Because I travel so much and I'm all over the place, it does not work for me to say, we're going to meet every week at this time or every fortnight at this time. That doesn't work for my schedule. And I had to set up consulting in a way that worked for both my schedule and my client's schedule. So instead, I said,
you got 6 months to use it. You've got 10 one-on-one 60-minute sessions, but you can book them whenever you like. And that's actually ended up working really nicely for both me and my consulting clients as well, because we work on something, we make a really clear action plan of what they need to do, they go away, they implement it, and when they've implemented it and they're ready for their next session, they book their next session. And again, they've got 6 months to use that. That's how I put it together. And then again, it is priced on not just 10 1-hour sessions. It's priced on my prep time in the lead up to the session based on what I'm working with that client, my time afterwards, because I provide summary of the session, action steps, as in a really clear plan of this is what you need to now go away and do in your business to reach your goal. Video recording, audio recording, and any resources that we need depending on what they're working on. So all of that takes time to put together, and it's time that you need to charge for, because otherwise if you're only working off that 1 hour because that's what they're getting face to face, you're doing a disservice to yourself, because it costs you a lot more in your time than that 1 hour. So that is my advice to you. Rather than just offering 1 hour consulting at a set price, really look at how you can package it. And at the end of the day, it's about getting value for your clients as well. For the businesses that I'm working with one-on-one, they're trying to build up their business to be structured very similar to what mine was. And mine was in-person training, in-person consulting. I then launched an online membership. I then launched an online course. I then started doing more keynote speaking and working with much bigger brands, and that all built, again, over 10 years. So yes, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I did a lot of things right, but I did an awful lot of things wrong. And it took me 10 years to learn that. So I'm trying to package the best bits into 6 months. For a lot of people, 6 months isn't long enough, because again, how can I teach you 10 years of knowledge in essentially 10 hours across 6 months? You just can't, right? But I can stop you from making all the mistakes I made. I can speed up the process for you, and trust me, it's gonna cost you a lot less than if you were to figure it out on your own. The money that I know I can make them is huge in comparison to what I charge. So that's where the confidence for me to charge the prices that I do charge for one-on-one coaching comes in, because I know how much time and money it has cost me to learn this information, and I know how much money this information will earn them from working with me one-on-one. So I have full confidence that they will not just see a return on investment, but see it 10, 20, 100-fold. That's my advice to you when it comes to pricing as well. What's it worth to them in the long run? And based on your time and the amount that you've spent learning what you know, what is a reasonable price? Okay, that's today's lesson. I'm gonna go and jump on my coaching call. On that note, hooray! Hello, Michael. Well, I have exciting news. I've got your funnel. I got the information that you sent me about the membership and how it works and all the details there. I also took the information from your bio that you sent me as well. And I had a look at that script that you sent me too. So I got all the information from all those 3 things and put it together into the 5-part email sequence. What I want to do today is see where you got to with the pop-up for your website, firstly, and then I want to go through each one of the emails with you so that we can make sure it's definitely your tone of voice, update a couple of the details in it, like testimonials and things like that, before we then put it into your software and make it live. If I'm completely honest with you, it almost looks like a security alert or something. It doesn't look like fun and exciting. So we want it to be like brighter, a graphic of the video that they're getting. Remember earlier when I did that video in the garage and I said I had it together today and I was having a good day? And then I watched the video back and realized I had toothpaste on my top that I never saw after I did kindy drop off. That's mum life. Had a fantastic session with my coaching client. I can fit in 2 clients a day, but I prefer to only do one. It took me a while after my client today to work on what we'd been working on. And I like being able to have that time and not rush straight into another session with another client. Yes, that reduces my earning capacity 100%. I could back to back my 4 hours that Karlo's at kindy with 4 1-hour sessions, take on heaps of clients, be super stressed, be making lots of money. But that's just not worth it to me anymore. That's what I used to do. And that's not fun. I don't want to work like that anymore. When I brought back coaching into my business, I wanted to make sure I left myself enough time to keep it enjoyable and keep it fun and make me feel like I'm doing a good job and enjoying my work, which only comes from setting boundaries and then sticking to them and being disciplined enough to say, no, I'm fully booked today, next week, the week after. And the right people who are your ideal client, appreciate you, value you, they will wait.
Time to feed the chickens. Hi, ladies. Do you want to be on the YouTube channel? Yeah? Anything you want to say? Do you want to talk about your living conditions? How you find the life in Podgora? Oh, they've got a lot to say. They're also talking Croatian. I don't know if you can hear the Croatian tongue on their board. Do you know what I just realized? How color-coded I am with the chickens. Like my top and my hat. They literally probably think I'm their mother. All hail mother hen chicken. Now make more eggs, please. Yeah? Sup?
Good morning, vlog! Happy Wednesday, hump day. I got woken up at 1, 3, 4, and then I got up at 5. And what time did you get up? Pow, pow, pow. 5:15. And if one more person says to me, just put him to bed later. It does not matter what time I put him to bed. It doesn't matter if he naps. It doesn't matter if he doesn't nap. He wakes up at 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. So I am officially going crazy. We're patiently waiting for kindy to open. Almost 3 hours. Oh, yay, it opens in half an hour. Yay. The joys of motherhood. Yeah. I want to cry today. Today I'm tired. I'm really tired. Again, I don't want this whole vlog to be about the fact that my son doesn't sleep anymore. But it's so all-consuming. Like, it's all-consuming. And you're just exhausted all the time.
That's here. That's here.
Oh, whoa.
And that's here.
Whoa. And then they're so cute, and you look at their beautiful little faces, and you're like, you're so cute, but you keep me up all night. And then people who say, oh, well, he's probably sensing you're a bit stressed. Yeah, I thought of that too. Honestly, the things people say to you as a mother, that you're like, do you think I don't have a brain in my head? Isn't it wild? Isn't it wild how as soon as you become a mother, your body's no longer your own. You can't think about anything. You're always doing everything wrong. You're constantly being told, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, you won't ever do that again, you won't be able to do this, you won't be able to do that. Like, why is it that once you become a mother, people feel like they have the right to like make all your choices for you? I don't know, it's the strangest thing. This never used to happen before. But it's like from the second you fall pregnant, people start saying you shouldn't be eating that, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be working out. The things I was told when I was pregnant about my business and what I would and wouldn't be able to do was crazy. And the whole point of having a business is being able to adapt it and change it so it fits with your lifestyle. So of course I was going to change my business once I became a mother. Of course, because that's the difference between having a job and having to go to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and having no control over that, and having a business that you could eventually build up so you have a team so you can pull back, or the way your services operate like mine do now, I have a lot of flexibility and a lot of freedom and I can work when I want to. And it's only being a mother that made me like that. It's being a mother, becoming a mother, that made me value my worth, put my foot down on what I said yes, what I said no to, opportunities, because I had a bigger reason why. I hope that you can relate to that. And I hope that if you are pregnant or thinking of starting a family or even expanding your family and someone's told you you won't be able to do this or you can't do that, I want you to know you can. And you can do it with no sleep, because you just get stuff done. Your mentality to life just changes completely, and your mindset really does change completely. Being a mother, this is going to sound cheesy, but it's so true. Being a mother is a superpower, because what you can do and how you can work, like before I had Karlo, if I hadn't had like a proper night's sleep for 2 months, I would have been a broken shell of a human. I'm still a broken shell of a human, but just get on with it, because you don't really have another choice, do you? It is a superpower. It's a superpower in productivity. The productivity of a mother in nap time is something that should be studied, because one mother can get more done in nap time than I used to get done in a whole week before I had Karlo. So you can do it. You might not be able to do it all at the same time, or you might not be able to do it all without help, but you can definitely do it. Now I'm going to do my skincare, and that was my pep talk of the day to you, but I actually think I needed it for myself. So thanks for that. Thanks for being here. Stop Karlo at kindy. Had a second to recenter myself. God, what would we do without kindy? Like, yeah, the single mums and the mums that can't afford kindy. Kindy's so expensive in Australia. Here it's really reasonable. Karlo's kindy is, I need to double check this, but I think it works out to be about $15 Australian a week. And that's for every day, their breakfast and morning tea. And so it's like a no-brainer. And he needs it. He needs lots of activities I don't have the ideas for. Anyway, I'm gonna cuddle the kittens. You know when you read those mum things and they're like, if you're stressed, just go outside and give yourself 10 minutes. 10 minutes? I can't give myself 10 minutes. The house would be destroyed. 10 minutes. I barely got a second. No. Okay, I'm going to just stop complaining about it now. I love my life. I love my child. I love my kittens. So I've just checked my budget. I'm the queen of budgeting. When people tell me I'm the queen of Instagram, I'm actually the queen of budgeting. I love budgeting. I live to budget. I do all my friends' budgets. You want me to do your budget? Send me your info and I will budget for you. So I just checked my Croatia budget. What I do is I basically go through every single bill, whether it's yearly, monthly or quarterly, and I break it down to a weekly cost. And then I know how much it costs us every single week to live here. You know what? Let me know if you'd like to see our Croatia budget. If you want to know how much it costs us to live here. So I told you that kindy was $15 a week. I was wrong. Karlo's kindy is 63 euros a month, which is about 110 Australian dollars a month, which equals about $28 a week. And when I say kindy, there's no childcare here. So there's no private daycares or anything like that. Each village has its own kindy that you can apply once your kid turns 3, and they go to that kindy from 3 until 7. They start school here at 7. What I love about it is that everyone in his class is a different age. So it's a mixed group. I think there's 16 kids in his class, but to be honest, I think the most I've ever seen there is maybe like 10 or 12 maximum on one day. So it's a really small class. It is such a beautiful kindy. If they had kindy like that in Australia, it's exactly where I would want him to go. But I wanted to correct myself on what I just said before. It's more childcare than kindy. But again, because they don't have private childcare here, it's run by the government. That's the only option. There is no private daycares, private childcares. So they only have the government run one. And yeah, it's $28 a week, which is awesome. I think they might be up at the car.
Hey, Benny! This one not for you, it's for me. But I'm joking.
Oh, you little trickster.
No, wait.
Hi, honey. Hi.
We're home. Mwah.
Welcome home, babe. Whoa, who's home from sailing the seven seas?
Are you good?
I'm joking.
Hey, good. I miss you.
Daddy, look.
Dude, that's such an awesome...
Look.
Where'd you get new shoes? You look so cool, dude. I miss you so much, buddy. Brooke would like to see what I was doing this whole time.
Prove to us that you weren't just partying on a boat the whole time.
I tried to even book one that had like half party, half learning, and that's what I thought I was on, but it was very much a learning one, unfortunately. There we go.
Does this not look like the fakest thing you've ever seen, guys? Like, come on. Where
So-
did you just print that at Officeworks?
There you go. If anyone would like to hire a catamaran in Croatia and they need a captain, just call me. 1300. Captains are us.
So it's a little bit cold. We've had a bit of a cold spell come through. So it's Thursday today and still looking for land.
Still looking for land. We're gonna
The
start our land hunt.
continues.
Maybe in 2 weeks' time, but we need all 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh, he needs a 2-week break from his 2-week holiday.
No. Need 2 weeks to just get back into the swing of things until we figure out what we're doing with this land.
Does anyone have any land in Croatia they want to sell us? Specifically on the Dalmatian coast. Spirit fingers.
Hey, you're scaring your customers off.
What customers? Anyway, Dom's about to get back to work. Need to earn those dollars. Come on. So we can buy land.
Evo Dominice.
Hvala.
This is Jure.
Hey, how you doing? Kako? Like and subscribe, yeah?
Yes, you got it. That's how you do it.
I'm here with restaurateur Jure Vandanovic. Jure, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, everything's pretty good around here. We're just at his restaurant, Liberan. Is there something you'd like to say to the people?
Nothing at this moment.
Can you actually...
Too stressed to talk.
Sorry, can you keep the microphone closer to your mouth?
I'm sorry. I'm too stressed to talk.
As you can see, can you do a pan? Very busy at the moment.
That's why I can't talk.
Very busy.
Over and out. Cheers to that.
When we first came to Croatia and we were living in the garage, the internet wouldn't work. You know, this is years ago and the internet wasn't very strong. And I was in a place in my business where I had to teach a live webinar or host a live masterclass every week inside my membership. And so to do it, I used to sit here. Look at this cute little spot where I used to sit. This is where I used to sit and do it from, because I needed to be outside to get the internet to be strong enough for the live. From humble beginnings. But this table and this spot is what got us here today. Because if I hadn't built up Social Club, which was the membership side of my business, and scaled that to the size that it was, I wouldn't have been able to live and work from anywhere, and we probably wouldn't be here. So if you were ever a member over the 7 years that I had it for, thank you, because it's because of you we are here. And also my father-in-law. Thanks, Mark. Show me. Oh, even more kittens. Hello, sweetheart. You are so cute. Oh, they're scared, babe. These ones haven't been domesticated, really. We could even call the channel Cats in Croatia. Cats and the Chef in Croatia. Nah, we'll just stick with the name that we already had. Hello, little sweethearts. All of our eyes are open. We tumble around. We love cuddles. We're always looking for fun little things to do. Hi, little babies. Hello. Our branding, colour palette, our fonts, different options for the logo. Okay, so this is what it's going to be, but we're going to have to change some of these. So I've said before how we come to this recreation centre where Karlo does his gymnastics class. And we just had dinner. Karlo's playing with all the kids in the outside playground. And Dom and I just ordered a Teranino, which is Croatian red wine liqueur. It kind of tastes like really thick cordial, but it's so good. Anyway. Cheers, honey. Cheers. This is something really important that I feel like not enough people talk about when they're living in different places. So we came to Croatia when Karlo was 1. He was just learning to speak English, right? Now he speaks and understands fluent Croatian. He's about to turn 4 in a couple of weeks. I don't even understand or speak fluent Croatian. My child can literally speak a language I don't understand. I'm trying.
Here, watch, we'll try. Karlo, slušaj, razumiješ
and
sve?
it's not baby talk.
Sve.
And I just find it so fascinating. Child's mind can learn another language because he doesn't know he's speaking another language, but he knows which words go with which words. So if he says a sentence and I say, Bubby, I don't understand you, can you say that in English? He doesn't know how to say it in English. He'll just keep repeating the same sentence in Croatian. But if someone talks to him in Croatian, he knows to respond in Croatian. That is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. As a parent, watching that is so cool. And one of the reasons that we decided to stay in Croatia versus Bali or anywhere else that we were is because it was really important to us that he learns the language from the locals, because different parts of Croatia have different dialects. And just because you learn Croatian in, I don't know, where's somewhere that speaks a different version? Zagreb doesn't mean he will speak the same Croatian as someone from where we're living. So that was really important to us, that he learned off the locals versus us trying to learn and then teach him. And 2, we really wanted him to make friends with the local kids in the village that we're living in, because what?
No, I'm just, we do live in a village. In the village, we live in a small...
I know, it still sounds funny to say the village we live in. Actually, I'm used to it now. I'm used to saying the village. But I get how it sounds. But it is a village. I remember one time I did a story saying we'd moved to this cute little town, and I got so many replies to my story saying, it's not a town, it's a village. So I was like, okay, must use the correct terminology. But it was important to us that he became friends with the local kids, because no matter where we end up in the world, whether we stay here, whether we didn't know where we were going to be, we will always come back here on holiday at least, because A, we love it, and B, Dom's family will always come here on holiday. That's something I don't feel like we've mentioned yet. The house that we are living in is Dom's dad's house, but he lives in New Zealand. So this is a holiday home built on the land from Dom's didda, that all Dom's aunties and uncles all have holiday homes across this land. The best way to explain it is a holiday home, right?
Yeah, holiday home.
It's a holiday home. They all live in New Zealand.
A generational land that's been
except for
handed down.
one uncle and auntie who live next door, who are amazing and we spend a lot of time with. And it makes it feel really homely for us, because we're not just living in a random village with nobody we know.
The house that we're living in is my dad's house, was my granddad's house, was my great-granddad's house. My family, Velinovic, was born in this house on this street back 7 or 8 generations. We've dated it back to 1768.
Isn't that amazing?
So
that is cool.
A straight line to 1768 from this little town here in Podgora. The Velinovic, one son, and actually they named, my grandparents pretty much were called Jure Jakov, then Stipe, then Jure, then Stipe, then
Stipe in English is Steve, and Jure in English is George.
George, yeah. But Jure is a common name. My second name here is Jure. That was my grandfather's name. So
yes.
Karlo's name's, Karlo. That was actually
my
Brooke's grandfather's name in Croatia was called Karlo, and his second name's Ante, which is another
Croatian name.
Croatian or second name, I think, in one of my relatives.
Morning!
I do not want to jinx it, but I have some really exciting news. So last night and the night before, Karlo slept through the night and didn't wake up until after 7 a.m. Now, as I said, I do not want to jinx it. Okay, either it's a coinky-dink that from the night Dom came home, he started sleeping again, of course. But Dom stopped working when Karlo, he was around 1, maybe before, it must have been before he turned 1. And Dom's been with Karlo all the time since then. We went to Australia earlier this year and we came back to Croatia at the end of March. And since we got back, not the whole time, but since we got back, that's when Dom started working, and then he's been away twice. Do you think it could literally just be some sort of 4-year-old separation anxiety of boy to his dad because they've never really been apart? Or do you think it's just purely a coincidence? I don't know. But of course, I look like a liar. Not a liar. Dom would never call me a liar. But I look like, you know, Dom comes home and I'm this big disheveled mess because I haven't slept in so long. I'm so tired. And he's like, what? He slept through the night. Big deal. He didn't wake up till 7. I'm like, dude, he hasn't been doing this. So you're doing it now to make me look crazy. Anyway, Friday today. I've got my massage in an hour. Dom took Karlo to kindy. I'm going to go get my massage. Hope you enjoyed week 4 of the vlog. Officially a whole month into the vlog. Thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Please leave a comment down below. So if you hit the subscribe button, you will get notified every time we drop a new episode as well. So you can keep watching the craziness that is our little life over here. Still don't have our residency permit and our current permit expires in 2 days. So that's a little stressful, but YOLO. To Brooke's Beauty School. This is what I like to call 2 minutes ago, my husband said we're going out for dinner and I haven't washed my hair in a week and I stink and I have a pimple. But you know what? I'll take the dinner invitation. Flawless glow. Let's curl these lashes, hey? This is what I call my mum, but I can still look like I made effort.
I'm looking at it.
We'll pull that back. Karlo's birthday present arrived and it's so big, there's no possible way to hide it. And also the posting fully showed him what it is. So we told him he has to pretend it's not there. So now he keeps doing this. Mom, I'm not looking at it. All right, that's all we'll have to do.
Look at me.
We'll just twist this into a bun.
Look at what I
A boy, my boy. Hold me in your arms tonight. A little bit of a slip liner. This helps. This helps make it look like you had like at least half an hour to do your makeup. And wash your hair. See? And alright, done. Do I look like I just spent an hour getting ready? First. Okay, great. Better. Now I feel like a better human. Dinner time. First time I've come for dinner at the chef's restaurant. Hey, look at the view. This is Lebanon by night. What's the special, what's the soup du jour? Oh my God, it's so funny. Oh, the soup of the day, that sounds good. I'll take that. Have you seen Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, sure.
Oh my God, it's iconic. You know
That's the
when
best movie, yeah.
It's the best movie. You know when he asks, what's the soup du jour? And the guy goes, soup of the day. And he goes, that sounds good. I'll take that. What a sunset. A sunset marking the almost start of summer. Is that right? You can't see the sun. Look at the sun.
Look, you're blocking me.
How am I blocking you? How?
The trees are blocking.
Oh, sorry, the trees. Well, I didn't put the trees there.
Yeah, you did.
Did I? Okay. Look what I've got. Yum, 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 yum. We've still got some left from Australia. I love Saturday when the weather's not super great. I can just have a slow morning. We've got nowhere to go, nowhere to be. Karlo can play with his toys. I can watch my YouTubers. And we can just do nothing. Isn't it nice? Because you rarely can just do nothing. It's nice just to have a Saturday to rot. But rot sounds negative. It's like a positive rot morning. Hi, little darling. Hello. Hello, little sweetheart. You are so cute. We've come to see Daddy at work. And I'm going to go get a facial today. So I'm quite excited about that. And look how cute Karlo looks today. Karlo picked his outfit and he looks like he's about 10. It's a professional setting. Why are you here?
I don't know, out of the kitchen. Yo, you can't film in my zone.
When we first moved here, people said, oh, but what about Karlo? What about Karlo?
Is that cool?
Look at where this kid gets to have his restaurant made avocado on toast. I reckon he's going to be okay. What do you think, babe?
Yeah, he's good, man.
He's good, man.
I'll put on a cartoon.
This is where I get my facial. She's amazing and the place is so beautiful.
Facial done. Feeling 21 again for the next 5 minutes. So when I left Perth, I was worried about my skin because I used to go to a studio, salon, clinic, whatever you want to call it, in Perth regularly to get different treatments on my skin. And I used to go to La Belle Po and see Kim Tran, and she said to me, just make sure you wear your SPF every single day, and no matter where you are in the world, try and get a facial once a month. So it's something I've really tried to stick to and commit to for the last 3 years, even though we've been a bit all over the place. And it just makes me feel like I'm doing something good for my skin. I always wear SPF. I've worn SPF every day for as long as I can remember. It must help, right? Sun safety, very important. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.